Welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. To give more people a chance to listen to our podcast, we've launched our own YouTube channel. From now on, your friends who don't have podcast apps will be able to listen to the highlights from Ukraine on YouTube. Link to the channel will be in the description below. If you are already listening to this podcast on YouTube, please hit like button and subscribe. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 168 days Ukraine stands strong against the Russian invasion. In his evening video address, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky informed that at least 13 people died as a result of the Russian attack on Marhanets, Dnipropetrovsk region. More than 10 are wounded, 5 are in grave condition. The attack on the city was conducted with the Grad multiple-launch rocket system. The president stressed that the Ukrainian army will not leave this shelling unanswered. Volodymyr Zelensky informed that as a result of explosions in Russian-occupied Crimea on Tuesday, 9 aircraft of the occupiers were destroyed. One more was shot down over the Zaporizhia region. The president said that all this, along with almost 43,000 dead Russian soldiers, do not convince the Russian leadership that they need to find a way out of this war. Thus, more fighting is needed, more results are needed to convince them. He stressed that the question of when the peace will come directly depends on the question of the losses that Russia will suffer. The president said that a conference at the level of defense ministers of Ukraine's partner states begins on August 11th in Copenhagen, Denmark. Volodymyr Zelensky expressed gratitude to all Ukraine's partners who understand that only by ensuring Russia's defeat on the battlefield can the return of security for Ukraine and the whole of Europe be brought closer. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba calls on all EU and G7 countries to stop issuing visas to Russians, reports Radio Liberty. According to the minister, they overwhelmingly support the war against Ukraine and must be deprived of the right to cross international borders until they learn to respect them. In turn, the idea was supported by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Czech Republic, which presides over the EU Council, Jan Lipavsky. He agrees that it is necessary to completely ban the issuance of Schengen visas for Russian citizens in order to reduce the influence of Russian special services on the territory of the EU. Prior, the Prime Ministers of Estonia and Finland called to stop issuing tourist visas to Russians as well. The G7 countries' foreign ministers called on Russia to transfer the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant to Ukraine's control, reports Slovo i Dilo. In the joint statement, they noted that the Ukrainian staff operating Zaporizhia power plant must be able to carry out their duties without threats or pressure. The G7 ministers also reiterated their full and continued support for the International Atomic Energy Agency and stressed that its staff must be able to access all nuclear facilities in Ukraine without interference. China's ambassador to Moscow called the United States the main instigator of the war in Ukraine, reports Ukrainska Pravda. He accused Washington of backing Russia into a corner with repeated expansions of the NATO defense alliance and support for the forces seeking to align Ukraine with the European Union rather than Moscow. The Ukrainian military conducted a strike at the Antonivsky and Kakhovsky bridges over the Dnipro River in the temporarily occupied Kherson region, reports Channel 5. According to the Ukrainian command, after the attack, bridges can't be used. The UK announced an additional military support package for Ukraine, reports European Pravda. British Defence Secretary Ben Wallace confirmed that London will hand Ukraine 3 additional multiple rocket launchers, in addition to the 3 already in Kyiv, as well as a significant number of missiles for them. Ukraine received the necessary consent from Eurobond holders to defer payments on them for 2 years, reports Interfax Ukraine. The Finance Ministry of Ukraine received consent regarding approximately 75% of the total principal amount of securities in circulation. Our Patreon supporters get access to a cool new series on wartime life in Ukraine. To join the club, follow the link in the description below. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine. Thank you.